In June 2024, a 23-year-old said one sentence on camera. 10 seconds later, her life changed forever. 6 months later, she was a millionaire. And she didn't invent anything, didn't start a business, didn't have a following. She just answered a question. This is the story of Hawk Welch, better known as the Hawk Tuah Girl. And it might be the fastest accidental fortune ever built from a single moment. Let's get into it. June 2024, Nashville, Tennessee. Two content creators named Tim and Dee were walking the streets filming a man-on-the-street interview series for their YouTube channel. The premise was simple. Walk up to random people, ask them wild questions, film the reactions. They walked up to Hawk Welch, a 23-year-old who worked at a spring manufacturer in a small town in Tennessee. No social media following, no public profile, no aspirations to be famous. Just a regular person on a regular street on a regular Tuesday. They asked her a question. She answered it, and the answer, which we'll just say involved a very specific and very memorable phrase, was so unexpected, so confidently delivered, so completely unfiltered, that the internet lost its mind. The clip went up on TikTok on June 21st, 2024. In 24 hours, it had millions of views. In 48 hours, it had tens of millions. By the end of the first week, Hawk Welch was a household name across the entire country. At its peak, this moment would generate millions of dollars. From a 10-second clip filmed on a street corner in Nashville by two guys with a camera. Now here's where most viral moment stories end. Person goes viral. Internet laughs. Everyone forgets about it in 2 weeks. That's the normal outcome. That's what happens to 99% of people who accidentally end up in front of a camera at the right moment. Think about it. Damn Daniel. Remember him? The kid in the white vans whose friend kept filming him and yelling, "Damn Daniel, back at it again with the white vans." That clip got 300 million views. He went on Ellen. He got a lifetime supply of vans. And then, nothing. You probably hadn't thought about Damn Daniel in years until just now. What about Charlie Bit My Finger, the British toddler who bit his brother's finger on camera in 2007? The video became one of the most watched in YouTube history. The family made some money selling it as an NFT years later, but they didn't build a business from it. The Walmart yodel kid, Mason Ramsey, remember him? 12 years old, yodeling in a Walmart, went insanely viral in 2018, got on The Ellen Show, performed at Coachella somehow. A year later, gone. These are all real people who had real viral moments with real audiences of tens of millions. And almost none of them converted it into lasting wealth because they didn't move fast enough. Hawk Welch moved fast. Within days of the clip going viral, her team had already started building. Merchandise dropped almost immediately. Hawk Tuah hats, shirts, hoodies, phone cases, all of it sold out within hours of going live. The demand was so overwhelming that the first merch run couldn't keep up. People were waiting weeks for orders to ship. She signed with a management company. She started making appearances, festivals, events, meet and greets. She did brand partnerships with companies that wanted to be associated with the moment. But the biggest move, the one that turned a viral moment into a real sustainable business, was the podcast. In September 2024, just 3 months after going viral, Hawk launched a podcast called Hawk Tuah with Hawk Welch. Now let's think about how insane that timing is. Most people who go viral spend months trying to figure out what to do next. They post a few follow-up videos, watch their engagement drop, and fade out. Hawk had a podcast live in 90 days, and not just live, launching into a massive existing audience that was already invested in her. The result? Hawk Tuah hit #1 on the Apple Podcast charts within its first week. #1 on the entire Apple Podcast platform. Ahead of established shows with years of audience building behind them, she was interviewing guests within weeks. The podcast brought in people from entertainment, sports, pop culture. Each guest brought their own audience. Each episode kept the momentum alive long after the original clip had stopped being breaking news. And here's the business side of podcasting that most people don't understand. Top podcast sponsorships pay anywhere from $20 to $50 per 1,000 downloads. In some categories, finance, business, health, that number goes even higher. Hawk Tuah was pulling millions of downloads in its first weeks. Run that math. Even at the conservative end, $20 per 1,000 downloads, 1 million downloads generates $20,000 in sponsorship revenue per episode for a podcast that was releasing multiple episodes per week. The numbers stack up fast. Add merchandise revenue on top of that. Add appearance fees ranging from $10,000 to $50,000 per event. Add brand partnership deals from companies paying a premium to be seen with the moment. Total estimated earnings in the first 6 months? Somewhere between $1 and $3 million from a 10-second video, filmed on a street corner by 2 guys with a YouTube channel. But the story doesn't end there. Because Hallie Welch also made one very big and very costly mistake. In December 2024, 6 months after going viral, she launched a cryptocurrency called Hawk Token. Now, if you followed crypto at all, you know where this is going. The Hawk Token launched with enormous hype. Her fan base bought in hard. The marketing was aggressive. The promises were big. The token hit a peak market cap of around $490 million within hours of launching. $500 million for a coin named after a viral catchphrase. And then it collapsed. Within hours, it lost over 90% of its value. People lost everything. And just like that, the internet turned on her. The backlash was immediate and overwhelming. People who had put in real money, hundreds, thousands of dollars, watched it evaporate almost instantly. Social media exploded with accusations of a pump and dump scheme. The crypto community, which already had a hair trigger for this kind of thing, went nuclear. Hallie released a statement saying she had been unaware of how the token launch was structured and that she was looking into what happened. Whether you believe that or not, the damage was done. The goodwill she had spent 6 months carefully building evaporated in about 48 hours. Sponsors got quiet. The podcast momentum slowed. The conversation shifted from, "Look how smart she was," to, "Was this all just a scam?" It was a brutal lesson in how fast things can go sideways when you put your name on something you don't fully understand. So where does that leave the Hawk Tuah story? Honestly, still remarkable. Because even accounting for the crypto disaster, even with the lost trust and the angry community and the reputational hit, Hallie Welch went from working a factory job in Tennessee to generating $1 million brand in under 6 months. That has almost never happened at that speed in the history of viral internet culture. Most people who go viral get a funny story to tell at parties. Hallie Welch got a management team, a top-ranked podcast, a merchandise business, brand deals, and 7 figures in revenue. The difference between her and every other damn Daniel and Yodel kid and Charlie Bit My Finger? 2 things: speed and infrastructure. She moved before the moment died, and she built systems, merchandise, a podcast, appearances, brand deals that could generate revenue independently of whether the original clip was still trending. That's not luck, that's execution. Most people who go viral spend the first week taking screenshots and telling their friends. Hallie Welch spent the first week building a business. And that's the real lesson here. Attention is the most valuable and most perishable asset in the modern economy. When you have it, and almost nobody ever gets it at that scale, you have maybe a 30 to 60 day window to convert it into something that lasts. After that, the algorithm moves on. The internet finds a new meme. The moment is over. The people who capitalize on viral moments are the ones who treat that window like a startup sprint. Build fast, Ship fast, monetize fast, because the window closes whether you're ready or not. Gary Dahl understood this with the pet rock. The fidget spinner millionaires understood this. The Snuggie understood this. And for about 6 months, before the crypto chaos threatened to undo it all, Haley Welch understood it better than almost anyone. One street interview, one 10-second answer, one woman who moved faster than anyone expected, and $1 million brand built from absolutely nothing. That's accidental millions. If you're not subscribed yet, hit that button right now. We drop new videos every week and trust me, the stories only get wilder from here.